Dear students, in this lecture, we are going to cover the history of Quit India movement. So Quit India movement was a massive movement which was launched to force the Britishers to leave India, quit India, and it was the last such massive movement that took place just before the real independence. And this Quit India movement took place when Second World War was going on. So the Second World War has got a big role to play, or one of the major causes because of which this movement had to be launched by Congress. So now let us see how did things develop. How did Congress reach at the conclusion that it's time to launch a movement. So let's see the history of Quit India movement. So it all began with Cripps mission. See what had actually happened, that World War II was going on. So on one side were Germany, Italy, Japan. So they were known as Axis powers. They were known as Axis countries. On the other side were allied countries like Britain, France, USA, and Russia. So during the first 2 years, of the war, these Axis countries were winning. And if Britain is fighting the world war, that means India is also fighting, because India was under control of British administration. So without consulting the Indians, the Britishers have dragged India also in World War II. So that was already a reason because of which Indians were angry. So if you are dragging India into World War, it means India can also be bombed, India can also come under attack. But this war had got nothing to do with Indians. But still you are dragging India. But the Congress had not done anything to obstruct the British or to create troubles for British till then. But things began to change in 1942. Japan was advancing outside the eastern borders of India. So Japan was friend of Germany. That means Hitler and Japan, they were on same side. That means Japan was enemy of British Empire. So Japan was advancing outside the eastern borders of India. The threat of a Japanese invasion on India was looming, and Indian support was essential for war efforts. So now, if Japan is coming on the borders of India, so British government panicked. So they wanted the entire country to support them in stopping the Japanese invasion. Also, the Britain were facing pressure from its allies, because these are known as allied forces. So apart from Britain, France, USA, and Russia were also fighting war against Germany and Japan. So they said that now you have to do something to gain support of Indians, because if you do not take support of Indians, India will be captured by Japan, and allied forces did not want that to happen. So Britain was under pressure from US, especially Franklin Roosevelt. Franklin Roosevelt was the US president at that time. They said to the British administration that you cannot behave like this. You listen to what Congress is saying. Do not behave like a dictator. Go and talk to Congress. Go and talk to Mahatma Gandhi and his follower and the other politicians from India. So that's why the Britishers have to form a commission which is known as Cripps mission. So the British government in London sent Sir Stafford Cripps. Who was Cripps? He was a Labour Party member in a one-man mission to India. At that time, Britain was governed by Labour Party. So this Britain is sending a mission to talk to Congress leaders. Why? Because they want support of Congress. So what were the proposals of Cripps mission? Cripps have come with an idea, or Cripps have come with a you can say feeling that he will manage to gain support of Indian politicians. So he is making a few offers. He is offering something to Indians. Let's see. So the first offer was setting of an Indian dominion. So what is dominion? So British, here is Britain, but Britain have captured many colonies. India, Sri Lanka, even Canada and Australia were part of British Empire. So all these units, all these acted like units of British Empire. So these units were known as dominion. But what is the difference between being a dominion and being a colony? Dominion means if Canada is a dominion, it means Britain will do nothing to interfere in day-to-day decision making. People of Canada will form their own government, but still Canada will call itself a part of British territory. So that was the concept of dominion. So Cripps have come to give offer to Indian politicians so that Indian politicians become happy and they support Britishers in fighting against the Japanese. What is happening? What is the offer? So he's giving offer that we will make India as dominion. The dominion would have the freedom to remain with the British Commonwealth or secede from it. That means we are giving you the position of a dominion. Later on you can decide whether you want to remain part of Commonwealth. Commonwealth means all the territories that were under British control. So later on you can decide. If you want, you can leave the Commonwealth of Britain. The second proposal was a constituent assembly would be formed to frame a new constitution for the country. So Cripps mission is giving hopes to Indian politicians that okay, don't worry, you will get all this, just support us in fighting World War. So constituent assembly will be formed. So this constituent assembly will comprise only of Indians. Who are these Indians? So these Indians will be selected by different provinces of India and they will send their representatives in a group known as constituent assembly. So these people will join the constituent assembly and then they will discuss and make a new constitution for India. So Cripps was giving hope that very soon we will help you to frame your own constitution. So this assembly would have members elected by the provincial assemblies and also nominated by the princes. Any province unwilling to join the Indian dominion could form a separate union and have a separate constitution. Till now everything is fine, good. You want to give us dominion, you also want to give us power to leave the dominion, very good. You want to help us frame a constitution, very good, most welcome. Now third point, any province unwilling to join the Indian dominion could form a separate union and have a separate constitution. So India, this was basically an offer that you can break India into many parts as you want. What is the Britishers telling? That if a province, many provinces were there in that time India, if a province does not want to become part of India, it can form a separate union, like forming a separate country and have a separate constitution. So this was very bad, not acceptable. So this way you are giving an opportunity to break the country into many pieces. The transfer of power and the rights of the minorities would be safeguarded by the negotiations between the Constituent Assembly and the British government. Because that time many forces were operating. Muslim League was demanding more power for Muslims. There was another group led by B.R. Ambedkar. So he was demanding more political power for depressed classes, So this Cripps mission also had made promises to these two groups that rights of minorities will be protected. So in Constituent Assembly, we will take care that your voices are heard. So these are the proposals given by Cripps mission. Whom is Cripps giving these proposals to? To politicians, to the political groups. So what was the main objective of Cripps? The main objective of Cripps was to gain support somehow. In the meantime, until the new constitution comes into force, India's defense would be controlled by the British, because the war was going on, world war was going on. So British administration wanted to keep the defense with them. Rest everything can be transferred for Indians to control. Indians can take care of agriculture, of taxes, of policing, but India's defense would still remain in the hands of British people, because a large world war is going on, and the powers of Governor General would still remain unaltered. That means Governor General would remain as powerful as before. Then where does the question of giving power to Indian comes? So if you want to give power to Indian, that means this Governor General have to be removed. Nah, he is not an Indian, he is a Britisher. So these things were not acceptable. So what was the significance of this Cripps mission? See, this was the first time that the British government acknowledged India's right to be a dominion. Before that, they have not allowed this. So many times, father of Jawaharlal Nehru, Motilal Nehru, he had started raising demands for dominion status, but till that time, Britishers had not agreed. But now Japan is about to attack, so they will agree to anything. So Cripps mission also promised that Indians could frame their own constitution. They were talking about Constituent Assembly. The proposal of giving freedom to the provinces to be a separate union turned out to be a model for the country's partition in 1947. So for the first time, it was in Cripps mission that it was said that if a province do not want to become part of India, it can separate from that. So this laid a model that was further, 5-6 years later, that was actually how India was divided, because all these provinces were given power. So provinces were also given power. So this was the significance or legacy of Cripps mission. The right to cede, or you can say separate your province from the Commonwealth, indicated full sovereignty at the later stage. You see, while promising the dominion status, the Cripps mission had also promised that, okay, now we are making India a dominion, so let India remain a dominion now. Later on, if you do not want, you can separate from Commonwealth. So separating from Commonwealth was just like guaranteeing full sovereignty. That means guaranteeing that you will act completely independent. This is not freedom, but you will gain full sovereignty. You will decide your all matters. British people will not decide for you. So in the interim period, Indians were guaranteed a good share in the administration. See, all the promises that Cripps was making, that was post-war. That means once the war is over. So till the war is going on, so in the interim period, so till the time the war is still going on, Indians were guaranteed a good share in the administration. That means in the legislative councils, number of seats were increased so that more and more Indians could be taken in. Also, the ministries, different ministries, defense, agriculture, telecom, railways. So defense was kept by British people or British themselves. The remaining ministries were handed over to Indians. So this was more or less the offer that Cripps made. Now, as we know it, Cripps mission have failed. Had Cripps mission succeeded, there was no need for Quit India movement. So Cripps mission failed. Why did it fail? Because the proposal were seen as too little by Indian National Congress, INC, Indian National Congress, who wanted complete independence. So Indian National Congress said that we do not want all these childish promises. You simply declare that after war India will be given full freedom. We do not want your vague promises. The mission was rejected by Indian National Congress, the Muslim League and other Indian groups. That means the Cripps mission was rejected by Indian people. The Hindu Mahasabha, so this was a political party. So Hindu Mahasabha and the liberals were against the rights of state to secede, because Cripps mission have given the given the right to the smaller provinces, small kings, that if you do not want to remain part of India, you can form a separate union. So these political parties, Hindu Mahasabha and the liberal group, they were against this provision. The depressed class means today they are known as scheduled class. Depressed class people objected because they were apprehensive about their status in a country where they will be in minority. So depressed class were afraid that now Britishers are talking about forming a constitution, a constituent assembly. So depressed class people thought that we will not get entry into this constituent assembly. So the upper caste people will always dominate us. So our future is dark. So this is what the depressed class people thought. They were very apprehensive. So this is how, so now Cripps mission had thought that people of India will be impressed by his proposal and they will extend support for the war efforts. But people of India are not impressed. The mission also failed because of lack of support from the Viceroy Linlithgow. Linlithgow was the Viceroy of that time, and British PM Winston Churchill. So the official, or you can say the most important persons, Viceroy, Prime Minister and Secretary of State, they were in no mood of negotiation. Why this Cripps mission was basically sent? Because pressure was put by USA, France. That's why this mission was sent. But the powerful people of British administration, they were in no mood to talk with the Indian. They wanted that let us continue with World War, let us focus on World War, let's not bother about what Congress thinks. So that's why this Cripps mission did not have that much of support from the higher authorities. So you can see that Indians were not at all happy with Cripps mission. So INC, Congress rejected the mission. Why? Why did INC reject the Cripps mission? What was the logic given by them? The Congress was against the provinces' right to separately form union, as this was damaging to national unity. So Congress did not like the fact that power was given to provinces to separate from India. So that was harming national unity. Also, they were against the Governor General's power being not distributed, because Cripps mission said that Governor General will remain as powerful as before. So some important portfolios were held with Governor General. Governor General could veto anything. Veto means what? Suppose Agriculture Minister brings a law. Governor General does not like it. So Governor General could have vetoed it. So the Cripps mission said that Governor General will remain as powerful as before. So there is no distribution of power. So this was also not liked by Congress. They also protested the lack of share in defense, because the Britishers have said that Indians can take care of all other ministries, but Ministry of Defense will be completely under control of Governor General. So India is fighting a war. Lives of Indian people are in danger. Indian territory is in danger, but you are not allowing India to take care of its defense. That means you have no faith in Indians and Indian army. So this was also not liked by Congress. Also, there was no concrete plan for immediate transfer of power. They were only talking about framing a constitution, framing a dominion status, but there was no real plan. There was only promise. There was no concrete plan. So that's why Congress rejected this. The second most important political group, Muslim League, they too rejected the Cripps mission. Why? Because it was against the concept of a union of India. Because for very long time, Muslim League was demanding a separate nation. They do not want to become a part of what is Union of India. So union means merging or coming together. So what Britishers were promising, Pakistan will be there, India will be there, princely state will be there, and all this will be combined together to form Union of India. So that way Pakistan would have not become a separate country. So it was against the concept of Union of India because Muslim League wanted complete separation from Hindu majority regions. They wanted build a totally separate identity for themselves. Muslim League was not happy with the seats given to Muslims in the proposed constituent assemblies. So as Cripps mission had already promised that soon we are going to form a constituent assembly. What was the purpose of this constituent assembly? So people will be elected to this assembly, they will sit together and they will discuss amongst themselves and they will form a constitution. So Muslim League was not happy with the number of seats they were given. So let's say there were 500 members. So out of those 500 members, it was fixed that how many will be from Congress, how many will be from Muslim League. So Muslim League was not happy with the number of seats allotted to them, and they also wanted veto power. Veto means what? So suppose 5 persons are taking place in a meeting. Person A has the veto. Veto means even if majority has decided something and if this person does not like it, he can veto it. So his veto alone is sufficient to drop the proposal. So Muslim League basically wanted more control over Constituent Assembly, but that was not accepted by Cripps mission. So that's why Muslim League rejected. So if you are rejecting the Cripps mission and Cripps mission had come here to ask for your support, then what happens after that? Now you are rejecting Cripps mission, so you must have some future plan. So what were the Congress's future plan? After the failure of mission, Congress led by Mahatma Gandhi started their new campaign because Cripps mission is gone now, gone, and Indians are not happy. Their demands are not met. So what will they do? Gandhi ji framed a new resolution calling for total British withdrawal. Total. That means Gandhi ji said that enough is enough. We are not going to talk anymore. We don't want any more missions. You simply leave our country. Total British withdrawal. Quit my country. Get lost from Indian soil. So this resolution was passed by Gandhi ji. Why? Because he was very unhappy that Cripps mission was just a lollipop. So as the possibility of a Japanese invasion was becoming a reality, Gandhiji asked the countrymen to be ready to start a non-violent, non-cooperation movement. So Gandhiji was also getting the news that Japan might invade India because Japan had already captured Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia. I mean, all these territories were controlled by French earlier. Malaysia, Indonesia. Now all these were captured by Japanese army. See, the Japanese army was telling the world that we are not fighting against anybody. We are simply helping these Asian countries to gain independence. So these Asian countries were under control of Britain and France. So Japan said that we are not here to destroy or attack Singapore, but we are here to liberate. So that way they also wanted to invade India, because India was under control of British setup. So everybody was of the opinion that sooner or later Japan will enter India. So Gandhiji asked Indians that very soon this might happen, so before that happens, let's force British people to leave India. Why? Because if British people will leave India, why will Japan enter India? Because Japan claims that we are here only to free you from British people. So Gandhiji said that, okay, before Japan does that, let us do that ourselves. Let's kick British people out. That way, Japan will have no reason to come to invade India. So this way, Congress had already made up their mind that they are going to launch a very large scale movement. So this movement is what is known as Quit India movement, leave my country, total British withdrawal. So this Quit India movement started in August of 1942. So question is asked many a time, what was the immediate reason for starting Quit India movement? Immediate reason. The immediate reason was failure of Cripps mission. So months, or you can say weeks after Cripps mission failed, this movement was launched. So what were the reasons? What were the main reasons to launch this movement? So you have some basic idea that what were the circumstances back then. So what was the main reason? So let's see. So the Congress have already made up their mind that they are going to start a large scale movement. So now they start their attempts. So in July 1942, the Congress Working Committee met at Wardha. Wardha is in Maharashtra. So now they have started their efforts, because all of a sudden they cannot start a movement. They have to inform the people of India that we are going to start a movement. You have to participate in that. So at the meeting at Wardha, see, this was just a meeting. This was not an annual session. That means the top Congress leaders met there and they passed a resolution. What did that resolution say? A resolution was passed that demanded that the British rule in India must end immediately. Why immediately? Because Japan is about to attack. Japan says that Britain controls India. We want to fight for Indian freedom. So if British people leave India immediately, so there will be no reason for Japan to invade. Gandhiji had lost any kind of sympathy towards the British, who were busy fighting war. So earlier, when World War had begun in September of 1939, Gandhiji had extended unconditional support. Unconditional support, because Gandhiji thought that very soon Britishers would leave India. They would give good return gift to Indians. But by 1942, it had become very clear that Britishers had no plan of leaving India. So that's why Gandhiji had lost any kind of sympathy for them. So why was this change in attitude by Gandhiji? Because the attitude changed because in the Second World War, the Japanese were triumphing, Japanese were winning, and they had already overrun Singapore and Malaya. Malaya means Malaysia and Indonesia. So they were reaching Burma and India. So it was thought that presence of British in India was an invitation to Japan to invade. That means Britain has started the war, Japan has started the war, India has not started the war. So if Britain leaves India, why will Japan come to fight in India? So that was the logic. So a resolution has been passed at Wardha that Britishers, we are warning you for the last time that you leave India immediately. So this resolution is known as Quit India, quit my country India right now, Quit India resolution. So Congress have decided that a movement will be announced, will be started. So now they meet to officially announce the Quit India movement. So they have to start somewhere. So the Quit India resolution passed at Wardha. They have already passed the resolution at Wardha. So now they are meeting again to announce it publicly that from tomorrow morning we are going to start a movement. So the second meeting is taking place on 7th of August 1942. The next day, 8th of August 1942, Quit India movement begins. So they are meeting one day before so that they can announce to the entire country that from tomorrow morning you have to participate in Quit India movement. So where is this meeting taking place? At Bombay. So today the venue is known by the name Agast Kranti Maidan, because it was in this ground that the announcement of Quit India movement was made. So that was in the month of August. Quit India movement is also known as Agast Kranti because it started in August, and August of 1942 the entire country was under tight grip of violence. So August was the crucial month if you think from terms of this movement. So it is also known as Agast Kranti. So the ground where the original announcement to start the movement was made is today known as Agast Kranti Maidan. A non-violent mass struggle under the leadership of Gandhiji was announced. So it was announced that from tomorrow morning we have to start a mass struggle which have to be non-violent, because Gandhiji is the leader. Gandhiji was a firm believer in non-violence. So the Congress knew that we are going to start a large-scale movement. World War II is going on. So Britishers are surely going to arrest us. So they also told the public, they were giving speeches there. So in their speeches, they told public that in case Gandhiji and other Congress leadership were to be arrested, the common people should come forward and take the leadership. So they already knew that Britishers are immediately going to arrest us. So that's why they have already made appeal that if we go to jail, you people have to come forward and take the onus of leading the movement. So it was in this meeting which was taking place on 7th of August 1942 that Gandhiji made the historic do or die speech in Gowalia Tank Maidan, which is also today known as Agast Kranti Maidan. So who has given the, you can say, slogan of do or die? Mahatma Gandhi. When at the launch of Quit India movement, what was the venue? Gowalia Tank Maidan, also known as Agast Kranti Maidan. So AICC meeting, that means All India Congress Committee meeting, ended on the midnight of 8th August because they have started the meeting on 7th of August. So night happened. So date 8th August 1942, midnight of 8th August 1942. The same night, police arrested Mahatma Gandhi, Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad and all other leaders. So Patel, Nehru, all the big leaders, they were arrested and put into jail. So they had said that next morning we would start Quit India movement. They had simply given speeches, and just on the basis of the speech, charges of sedition were levied on them, and British put them into jail. So now what will happen? All the Congress leaders are in jail. They said that next morning we will start Quit India movement. So what will happen now? Within a week, almost all the leaders of the Congress were in jail. So it is serious. You have to take this line seriously. Almost all the leaders of Congress, 1 lakh people were arrested. 1 lakh people were arrested. Most of them were Congress members. So you can understand the entire political party was arrested and put into jail. Why? So who will lead the Quit India movement? All the politicians are in jail. So just understand, they have given speech, they have said that next morning we will begin Quit India movement, but in the night itself all the big Congress leaders are arrested and put into jail. So what will happen the next morning? So just before he was arrested, Gandhiji made appeal to the different sections of the society. So that is known as Gandhiji's advice to different groups. So he made appeals to the government servants that do not resign from your posts, but declare your allegiance to the Congress. So you are till now working under the British administration. So do not resign, because if you resign, the war is going on, so you should not resign, stay in your offices. But you, instead of giving loyalty to British, your loyalty should be towards Congress, because Congress represents the voice of the country. To the soldiers he said, do not leave the army, but do not fire on Indians. That means nobody should leave their jobs, continue doing your job, but your loyalty should be towards your own countrymen, towards Congress, towards Indians, not towards Britishers. To the students he told, if possible, resign from educational institutions. To the peasants he said, stop paying rents and taxes if your jamindar is a British sympathizer. So peasants means farmers. That means you do not support anybody who is supporting British people. Do not pay rents and taxes if your jamindar is a British sympathizer. To the princes, princely states, because princely states were given a lollipop by Cripps mission that if you want you can also separate from India. So their loyalty was not completely towards the freedom struggle. They were looking for an opportunity to become independent. So princes, Gandhiji gave advice to the princes, support the masses and accept sovereignty of your people. So Gandhiji told these princes, let your people decide. You do not take decisions on your own. Whatever the people of your kingdom will tell, you have to abide by that. So this advice was given just before he was arrested and Quit India movement is about to begin. So what advice did he give to the princely state people? To princely state people, he said that support the ruler only if he is anti-government and declare yourself to be the part of Indian nation. So he told the princely people living in princely state that you forget about your princely state. You are citizens of India. So your loyalty, so you should declare yourself to be part of Indian nation. Don't think about separating yourself from the country. Also support the ruler. You should support your prince if he is anti-government. If he is anti-government means he is also participating in Quit India movement. So this was the instructions given by Gandhiji. So now Quit India movement has already started, but there were different political groups. There were some political groups who did not participate in Quit India movement, and they also appealed to the people of India that you also should not participate in Quit India movement. Who were these people and why did they do so? Let's see. Hindu Mahasabha was a political party who you can say was just like Muslim League. Muslim League was fighting for Muslims. Hindu Mahasabha claimed to be fighting for Hindus. So both were extremist groups, Hindu Mahasabha and Muslim League, two sides of the same coin, doing communal politics. So anyways, Hindu Mahasabha officially boycotted the movement because questions have been asked that which of the political group did not support Quit India movement. So various options will be given. So you have to understand who supported, who didn't. So Hindu Mahasabha did not support Quit India movement. They boycotted the movement and even asked the party members to stick to their posts in legislative body, municipal corporation or army, because they were a political party. So their elected members were, ministers, member of parliaments at that time. So Hindu Mahasabha said that no need to participate in Quit India movement. So remain where you are. You should stick to your posts in legislative body, municipal corporation or army. A very tall leader of Hindu Mahasabha, Vinayak Damodar Savarkar, later on Congress leaders approached Savarkar. They said that I think you people have got this wrong. You should come together with Congress. You should support Congress. So Vinayak Damodar Savarkar later on agreed with Congress, and he also joined Quit India movement. So initially Hindu Mahasabha did not support, but later on they extended their support. How did the princely states of India behave? Obviously they did not support Quit India movement, because they are princes, princely states. They are favorites of British government, and they love British government, because British government have taken care of them till now. They are princes till now. Others are in jail. So they are not going to support. The movement had less support in the princely states. Most of the princely states did not participate in Quit India movement. The other group that did not participate in Quit India movement was Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. So this exists even today. This is a group. The communists. Now communists, see, understand, Russia was the center of communism that time. Russia was the leading communist country of the world at that time. So Russia, Britain, France, all these were fighting together. USA, all these were fighting together. They were in one group. So the father of communism, Russia, was in the same group that Britain was. They were fighting against Germany and Japan. So if you are launching a Quit India movement, so you are creating trouble for this group. You are creating trouble for Britain, and Russia is in the same group as Britain. So communists do not want to do anything to disturb this group. That's why the communists did not join the movement, because Russia was involved there. Also China was involved there. Both are hardcore communist countries. At least they were at that time. Muslim League also did not support Quit India movement. Why? The Muslim League opposed the movement, fearing that if British left India at that time, the minorities would be oppressed by Hindus. Because Muslim League was afraid that if Quit India movement is successful and the British actually leave India, then their dream of Pakistan will not be a reality. Because they understood that if Britishers leave, we will never be able to take Pakistan. We will never be able to create Pakistan from a Hindu majority nation. So they wanted Britishers to create Pakistan before they leave. So that's why they are also not participating in Quit India movement. So now let us see, if these people are not participating in Quit India movement, then how did Quit India movement progress? Also, Subhash Chandra Bose was by this time organizing the Indian National Army. So he had left Congress already. He was not happy with the decisions taken by Mahatma Gandhi and Nehru. So he had left, and he had formed a nationalist army which was known as Indian National Army, and the Azad Hind government. So this government was formed at Singapore. So Subhash Chandra Bose obviously did not like the Congress, so that's why he also did not participate in Quit India movement. Another interesting fact, C. Rajagopalachari resigned from Indian National Congress since he was not in favor of complete independence. He was not in favor of complete independence because he thought that if India is given independence that time, India will be invaded, India will be destroyed. He wanted World War to be over. Only then he wanted to do some kind of agitation. So C. Rajgopalachari was later on made the last, you can say he was the last Viceroy, Governor General of India. In general, the Indian bureaucracy did not support the Quit India movement because they knew that they have to be involved in fighting World War. So if they went on strike, British would have lost in a single day. So that's why Indian bureaucracy also did not participate in Quit India movement. So some people are helping, some people are opposing. So under these kind of circumstances, the Quit India movement began. What happened when it began? So as all the top Congress leaders were already arrested, so on 8th August, very important fact, a young woman, Aruna Asaf Ali hosted the tricolor to mark the beginning of the movement. Why? Because in the night itself, people like Gandhi, Patel, Nehru, Abul Kalam Azad, they were arrested. All the big leaders are in jail. The next morning, somebody from Congress have to start the movement. So a young woman whom nobody knew till that time, Aruna Asaf Ali, she hosted the tricolor to mark the beginning of the movement. This question has been asked enormous number of times. Who hosted the flag to mark the beginning of the Quit India movement? So this was done in Gowalia Tank, because all the Congress leaders were have gathered there only, Gowalia Tank. So this way the movement began. From 9th to 13th August, there were widespread disturbance in Bombay, Ahmedabad, Pune and Delhi. So as soon as the movement began, people started to come out on streets and disturbances started. However, after that, the movement started turning violent. So for initial few days, the movement was just limited to taking out rallies, protests, giving speeches. But after a week, things started to turn violent. Why? Because all the top Congress leaders were in jail. Nobody was there to give directions. Nobody was there to tell people that, okay, don't do violence. Let's stick to non-violence. So people were doing whatever came to their mind. So that way, the movement started turning violent. It was followed by widespread strikes and other outbreaks. So people started to going on strike. So mill workers, factory workers, so they started to go on strike. All of them are commonly known as Great August Uprising or August Kranti. August Kranti, Quit India movement. Many buildings were set on fire, electricity lines were cut, and communication and transport lines were broken. So you can see all this happened as soon as the Quit India movement began. So if you are cutting electricity line, cutting communication line, that means you are disturbing British while they are fighting war. War is going on. Communication is important. So this situation became very, very dangerous, very precarious for the British people. There were strikes and demonstrations all over the country. Despite the communist group's lack of support to the movement, workers provided support by not working in the factory. So the workers and mill mazdoors, they were considered to be members of Communist Party. But Communist Party officially did not support Quit India movement. Still, the working people, they followed the call of Mahatma Gandhi and they joined or they contributed in taking Quit India movement forward. So Britishers started to feel the pressure because communication lines are cut off, railway tracks are uprooted. So huge pressure on British people. So now they are forced to suppress the movement. They had already arrested the entire Congress leadership. Over 1 lakh people were arrested in connection with this movement. The government resorted to violence in order to quell the agitation. There were mass floggings. That means police used to approach a point, they used to arrest whosoever was present, and they used to beat them with lathis, and they used to flog them. That means they used to beat them. Even women and children were not spared. About 10,000 people died in police firing in total. 10,000. Just imagine. So it is said to be the most violent of the movement. So if question, see, Gandhiji launched many movements, starting from Champaran up till Quit India movement. But Quit India movement was the most bloody movement. 10,000 people were killed, 1 lakh were arrested. So Britishers were so much, you can say, they have become so aggressive that they started putting mass fine on entire state. The state of Bihar was fined 40 lakh. So this fine of 40 lakh was to be collected from every house. So Britishers fined each and every person of Bihar that way. So they had become so aggressive. But the main thing is that there was no communal violence. Communal violence means there was no Hindu-Muslim right. They were simply fighting against Britishers. They were not fighting amongst themselves. So how did the Britishers manage to suppress the movement? Obviously, they did not quit India. They did not quit India. They quit India in 1947. Quit India movement was going on in 1942. That means Britishers suppressed the movement. How? The INC, Indian National Congress, was banned. Its leaders were jailed for almost the whole of the war. The war lasted till 1945. They were jailed in 1942. So almost for 3.5 years, all the big leaders of Congress, they were kept in jail only. Nehru was in jail during the entire duration. The Congress leadership was that way cut off from the rest of the world for over 3 years. Gandhiji was released on health grounds in 1944. Others were not released, but Gandhiji was released because his health deteriorated and also because of the death of his wife. He was released. So what the other important event that happened during the ongoing Quit India movement was formation of parallel governments. So we have already seen that people had come on street, they were breaking, telephone lines, they were uprooting railway tracks. That means they have taken control of the entire administrative setup. All the British officers were scared and they ran away from few places. So it so happened in some places that all the British officers were thrown out. They were thrown out and Indians took control of the administration. Indians took control of the local governments. So these governments were known as parallel governments. Why parallel? Because legally British are ruling. But now Indians have taken control of offices, of police offices, of fire brigade, of schools. So Indians have started forming their own government. So these were known as parallel governments. So 3 such places saw the formation of parallel government. One was at Balia. Balia is in Uttar Pradesh. So a leader known as Chittu Pandey. These are important facts. So Chittu Pandey formed a parallel government at Balia and he got many Congress leaders released because most of the Congress leaders were in jail. So there was a jail in Balia where many Congress leaders were lodged. Now that jail was also under control of Chittu Pandey because Chittu Pandey had formed his parallel government. So he helped to release many Congress leaders from jail. The other place where this parallel government was formed was at Tamluk. So Tamluk is in Midnapur district of West Bengal. So this government is the most famous government. It lasted for more than 2 years. More than 2 years. At Balia, it lasted for just a week. But just understand, for 2 years, you are ruling on your own. Britishers are not even able to come to Midnapur. So which undertook cyclone relief work, sanctioned grants to school, supplied paddy from the rich to the poor, organized Vidyut Vahinis, etc. So you don't have to remember all this, just remember the place. Balia, Tamluk, the largest or the most strongest parallel government was formed at Midnapur. Option will be given either Midnapur or Tamluk. The third such parallel government was formed at Satara. Satara is in Maharashtra. So this was known as Prati Sarkar. Prati Sarkar, our government, government of the people. So this was organized by Congress leader. These joined Congress later on. They became big Congress leaders, but till that time they were not congressmen. So YB Chauhan, Nana Patil. So village libraries and Naya Dan Mandals were organized. Prohibition campaigns were carried on and Gandhi marriages were organized. So you just have to remember that at three places, people became so aggressive. People were so, you can say, they managed to overthrow the British administration, and in those local areas, they formed their own government. So this is how Quit India movement unfolded. So Gandhi fast. So Gandhiji was already in jail. So another politically significant event happened was he fasted when he was still in jail. So in February 1943, Gandhiji started a fast as an answer to an exhortation by the government to condemn violence. Because British people were arresting thousands and lakhs of people, they were killing. They have fired on 10,000 people. 10,000 Indians got killed during Quit India movement. So you can say that British people have totally turned violent. So Gandhiji went on a fast because they wanted British government to stop this violence. They wanted the British people to condemn this violence. So based on this fact, fast means you give up food and drinks. So public morale was raised because Gandhiji is going on fast. Gandhiji is mass leader. Everybody in country loves him. So public morale was raised. Anti-British feeling was again heightened because this was happening during Quit India movement was still going on. An opportunity was provided for political activity because if Mahatma Gandhi went on fast, other people also started following his example. They also started to go on fast. Government high-handedness was exposed. Gandhi got better of his opponents and refused to oblige by dying. That means soon Gandhiji ended his fast when he got assurance from the British government. So one major event that took place was Muslim League, who had boycotted the Quit India movement. They actually celebrated Pakistan Day. Pakistan Day was observed by Muslim League on 23rd March 1943. All this was happening during Quit India movement. So these are the major events that took place during Quit India movement. So now let us understand that what did India achieve by Quit India movement? Obviously the Britishers did not quit India immediately. So what was the political achievement? So despite heavy-handed separation of the government, the people were unfazed and continued their struggle. That means it developed people for future struggles. Even though the government said that the independence could be granted only after the end of the war, the movement drove home the point that India could not be governed without the support of Indians. So Quit India movement had already proved to the Britishers that it will become very difficult for you to rule India. So it had become clear that British would not be able to rule India for more than 3-4 years. It had become clear then only, and finally Britishers have to leave India in 1947. The movement placed the demand for complete independence. Quit India means what? Just get lost, leave us alone. So that is complete independence as the top agenda of the freedom movement. So now we are not interested in dominion status. We are not interested in constituent assembly. Just leave India, get lost. Public morale and anti-British sentiments were of course enhanced.